We come live to you from Kampala Road here, where we are based on Toban Center. My name is Idrissa Muwonge, and we are here on the Daybreak. Like I promised that when I come back, I'll come back with a guest. That is Dr. Rogers Wargayomo. He's chairman, Labour Party. Do they have plans of 2026? He'll be telling us. Good to have you, Doctor. How have you been?
Hello, Idrissa and
yes.
viewers. I'm good and happy to be with you this morning.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. I was seeing somewhere, and you are not speaking good about Gemma. Gemma,
No.
Gemma, I saw this. In fact, that very day, I had one of the leaders from there. It's a man who, you know, Gemma always brags about their discipline, how disciplined they are. They also, they are very moral. Now, I saw their spokesperson, Mr. Chamundu, with some other leaders, trying to push Basalirwa from the presidency. I was like, what is happening to Gemma? I think that's when you came in, because I saw a colleague in the profession having an interview with you. And your views, what were your views again about Gemma?
The truth is, it comes from the state capture which is happening around Uganda, whereby the institutions have been captured. And now, of course, it was the interest of the ruling government, and you know very well everyone who had the president say there will be no parties. Now, if it said that in another country, he would resign that day. Because, for example, if I'm an MD of a bank and I say there will be no banks, or there will be one bank, you are sabotaging the economy. So the president of this nation said that there will be no more political parties, and gullible as Ugandans, they never took him. Even you people in the press, I don't know which type of press we have, because if someone says that he has to clarify and is the head of state, are you the one destroying these parties? What are you going to do? What are your plans? He would have been interrogated at that level. But and doctor, the decent thing should be him to resign. If you are in a multi-party dispensation and you rule one of the ruling parties, and then you say you are going to destroy your competitors.
Doctor, I want to take you back.
It's like you say you're going to murder people.
I want to take you back in history to remind you that President Museveni has been clear on his stand when it comes to political parties. He was opposed to them. Don't you remember?
Yes.
He was opposed to them. So you didn't expect him to be speaking well about them.
No, but the moment, that is what we say, the moment you register for, let's say, league, and you're going to participate in football, the moment you allowed to participate, there are some principles, basic principles, and the president has
subjected the rules of the game.
Exactly, the rules of the game, and also to respect your opponents. And also, because if it is a league, that means there have to be teams, and you allow them to. But if now if you are doing it, maybe do it psychologically, but you cannot even say it that, you know what, because we know you have all the resources, you have all the strength, and you control most of the institution. For you to say it was not good enough. But now, now we can see. After you say it, coincidentally, before even 2 years, all the political parties from FDC, which was the strongest.
Problems?
Nope, not only problems, but problems to do with finances. And of course, those financial issues, we know where the money comes from. We saw FDC, we saw NUP, we saw DP, and all of those have an invisible hand of the government.
I'm not trying to defend President Museveni here, but I want to be fair to him. Now that you spoke about finances, who came out and proposed the financing of these political parties? IPOD was established, and it was his idea to have, these political parties given some money. You remember? And this money is given them according to their representation in parliament. It was his idea. So I don't think it's honest, it's fair for us to think that he wishes only the worst for these political parties.
No, but he said it. And now when he said it, and now he knew. Because right now, if you know, the game he plays better is manipulate issues using money. Everything even when you see these budgets of ministries and everything goes to him to sign to release the money. I was telling you FDC, you saw NUP, you saw DP, all of them connected to a member crossing and money crossing. What is not seen in JEMA is that when Honorable Basalirwa started as the main mover of the anti-gay, that was not the main, because I believe, you know, before a bill is passed, there is some behind the doors scene lobbying. But it was in the interest of the speaker at that time, Anita Among, who for me, I believe by all signs, is the chief executor of this plan of president to destroy parties.
Oh.
Anita. And I will give you an example. She was a treasurer of FDC. I would believe she has a move in FDC's crumbling. I believe she could have a thing to do with sponsoring Ant to run away from FDC. So when I see Basalirwa come in,
those are huge allegations you make.
No, I allege, and I have all reasons to believe, because I've told you.
And what would be her interest in this? Why would the speaker do that?
In what?
What would be her interest in dismantling these political parties?
But what is the president's interest? When the president said that, he knew he had someone to help him. But we can see chiefly, for example, the speaker and deputy speaker coming from opposition. You know, it's rare to find someone coming from the opposition and trying to kill his own. You get it? So he made it was like a very easy thing for someone. Now, and this is what is funny. When Betty Kamya became IGG, did she forget about all the principles she used to speak about corruption and this government? And I challenge Betty Kamya, come and tell Ugandans.
And I think she
when Anita Among and Tayebwa became part of the ruling, did they forget all the ills of government? So we are not just with ourselves as a public. So for me, I wouldn't mind if all these three characters I've talked about had gone to government, but they once in a while make a press conference and say, but these things we used to talk about are still. But if I see Anita Among not even talking about things she used to talk about 5 to 10 years ago, not even one thing, yet many of them are not solved, I believe she has to do with the destroying the existing. They come, and it's the intention. That's what I was talking about on TV. It's the intention that you don't go alone, because it would be ethical enough to say, for me, let me join the ruling party. But the intention is, you look at the Mau, look at Amuriat, now look at Basalirwa, is that you destroy yourself and you destroy, because they are destroyed politicians. But you also want to die like the pharaohs used to be buried. You want to die with the institution, the party. And that's what you see will happen in Jema.
I wouldn't blame Anita for crossing from the FDC to the NRM. I'll tell you why. This is a lady who had attempted to come to parliament on the FDC ticket, and she failed. You remember? It was until she crossed the NRM that she managed to succeed in winning the election. And there are so many people who have been like her. So what's wrong with that? And
I've said
it's a constitutional right to belong to
I've said there is no problem, and you can, especially me from academic, you can change your mind anytime. But Idrissa, you're here with me. If you ever hear I became, let's say, prime minister, it's not a crime. But you come and ask me, Doctor, you used to talk about labor. What, can't you make a press conference and say how was labor issues? Now that you are the prime minister, what are you talking about? Labor. Do you get it? What did Kamya used to talk about? Corruption issues. Now we would be asking, now make a press conference as if you are still the former opposition leader of that party. What was it? And you talk again. Federal Alliance. Now you mean when you went to government, anything to do with federalism went to the
But I think she has not changed her perception when it comes to fighting corruption. Remember, even she came up with a very good idea in combating corruption. It was the president who came and watered it down. Don't you remember?
According to you, isn't she in charge? You want to tell me she's not in charge? have the trends gone down or they are going higher?
But what do you
Have
do if
seen-
your boss comes and tells you that, look, and by the way, speak of corruption, I think this is something that is bigger than the IGG. Do you remember even the former IGG before Betty Kamya, that was Irene Muriagonje, Justice, who came out and said, because the public was pushing her to the wall, asking her that why are you going after the small fish? And she was like, you see, every time I'm pursuing a big fish who's corrupt, there is this phone call that I receive, and they're asking me to back down.
Yeah,
Like, back off.
You can exonerate Muriagonja because for her she's a technocrat, she's not been such a politician. I cannot exaggerate people like Betty Kamya, who moved around this country telling us about principles they would want to do when they are president. Then now someone gives you an office and you don't make even a press conference which is worth about 100,000 to tell people about the things you used to talk. Let me tell you, the worst thing a person can rob of a person like me is my mind. And the problem, people don't know this nation, what has been killed most is our morals and our consciousness. Yeah, you see many buildings getting up, the economy, but as a nation, we have shared conscience. Every morals and integrity has been destroyed. So I'm asking you, if you're in a position, and I also stand to be accountable as a politician, if I'm talking about these things, and then 5 years is as if these things have never happened, am I morally right? Am I standing by my integrity? And what has happened as a nation? These people, right now, I told you this, the parliament is led by a former opposition leader, the deputy, a former opposition leader. What do they have to say about, for me, just you people in the press, keep recording this thing. Just what are the things they used to say 10 years ago? What are they saying now?
Before you joined me, I was telling Ugandans what President Museveni was telling us when he had just come into office. Is he still the same president? It's a man who told you what Africa's problem is. Didn't he tell you?
Yes.
This is a man who told you it would be insane for anybody to continue being president beyond 75 years. I mean, is he still speaking the same?
That's what I'm saying.
But if you talk to him, I know this is the answer that he could tell you, that look, don't have a right to change my mind.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Now, for me, the legacy of Museveni will be measured by that, not by the what his words before, what he has fulfilled, and that is the legacy of any man. The things you say before and the things you say after. So, to me, I wouldn't give him that honor, fountain of honor, because some of the things he said, he has not honored them. And that's why the members of parliament are called honorable, to honor what you said to people. But they should designate another word for those people in parliament. They are no longer honorable because they are no longer from the leader.
I hope you don't think they are horrible. But doctor, I want us to talk about Jema, because you had some views. I don't know why you're hesitating to share them. Jema, they feel like their president has forsaken them. According to a spokesperson, Mr. Chamundu, he believes that the party president is overwhelmed with parliamentary work. He no longer has time for them. For that matter, they're asking him to consider, excusing himself from the office of the president so that they can find someone who can find enough time to occupy that office and execute all the duties.
Yeah, and that is what is morally right for anyone. If you cannot do you will have to be decent enough. Like I've told you that Basadira, Honorable Basadira, was caught up with the money from the parliament. And I know, if you, to be honest, he has exchanged a lot of that money. And especially because there is a time, at least his relationship with the speaker was smooth, especially that thing of anti-gay.
They're still friends.
Knowing the other personality, a lot of money has exchanged hands.
So, you want to think that the Jema president has also been compromised?
Greatly so. Let me tell you, the biggest compromise which can happen to all of us, including me, is a monetary compromise. You start, these people who don't know, but these people you might find somewhere, I'm giving a scenario, that somewhere the man has a building which will cost 2 billion to be finished, and already he has invested 1 billion. Do you think he will come to you, Sentongo, who has nothing? He now has to associate with the people who have the money, and that is the speaker and the president and their system. They are the ones who have money. So the biggest conversation now for him, his biggest interest is now economical than political.
You know, when you speak like that, I'm getting this feeling that we should now stop criticizing President Museveni and blame him for the disorganization that happens in these political parties. But we should start now blaming the conscience and the characters of these individuals. Why would you sell your mind like that, so cheaply?
Now, that's the thing. Okay, partly you cannot say we stop, because he is the father of the household. Whatever character you find in my children, it is me who has planted that character, and intentionally, maybe for my benefit, for now, for President Museveni's benefit. Yes, but also now, true, you cannot say exonerate the children. So that's why most of the... No, I've showed you that he has set...
It's a misplaced
No,
example.
it is not misplaced, because to be specific...
With the children, these ones you're nurturing them. You're teaching them exactly how they should behave. But we are talking about now politicians. People who have been raised in different areas.
Yeah, if...
President Museveni meets these people when they're old enough. Do you remember one time when he came out to defend himself against corruption? And he said, look, you are blaming me that I'm working with the corrupt, but these people are from your societies. I meet them when they're old enough.
Okay, let's use the oldest example. Was he right to defend the speaker in the public about, was he right as an elder? If he was right, we can move to another. He has defended the speaker about the mass corruption, that we should, so as he would have even just kept quiet. So that is why I'm saying, as an elder, if by now he wouldn't be, he would be just a fountain of honor, not even commenting on this thing, actually just resigned and just enjoying his rest somewhere, and then that blame wouldn't be on him. But because he's a player, and not only keeping, I was he would have kept quiet. Remember, on the iron sheet issue, he brought statements, strong statements against, and he called them thieves. He called them thieves. Now, a UK government uses your own statement and sanctions, makes it easy for you, and sanctions the so-called, the people you called thieves. Then again, you change your mind on that issue. So, to be sincere, so let me explain the Jema issue. Money, we very well know, the interest of Basara is now more economic than political. We are all caught up in that kind, most of the people are caught up in that kind of mud, where your political, economic interest is bigger. And if you see most of the people being destroyed, they will use URI, they will use, but this is, you think you're killing a Dr. Roger because he's speaking, you're killing a Jema, but you're killing the whole nation, you're killing our children. Because right now in Uganda, we have not a single person, maybe, not even in the churches, who people can point out and they say, this man keeps his word, he's a man of integrity. He keeps his, when he says this, it is like this.
Are you saying the whole country is morally rotten?
99%, and that's the biggest.
If you have now even included religious leaders, then it's different now.
Yeah, because if you compromise them and they no longer can speak in their churches against the corruption, and instead they praise you when everyone knows the cancer killing. So that is that's actually to me the biggest disservice of NRM. Yeah, they don't.
Do they?
That's what I'm saying.
Because I've had the president himself ask them to, focus on what they are supposed to do. They should not meddle into political affairs.
Yeah, but and that's why it is a mockery. I don't believe they should start celebrating days like Janani Ruumu. Janani Ruumu. Now they are exciting us about Namugongo.
Victims of bad politics.
Yes, the people of Namugongo, the martyrs died for values. Do you believe so? Janan whom died for values. Now, if you are not countering these values, why are you calling us to go to Namgongo to celebrate what? We should start seeing the values in this country coming out. We should caution ourselves on the values. Yes, even when you are weak. Because I like the Christian version of saying we are not all holy. There is none, but at least we know these are the values.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doctor, let's take a break. When we come back, we are going to be laying our projection into what is likely to transpire at Kololo airstrip today when President Museveni meets the traders. The traders are optimistic that the old man with a heart, that's President Museveni, that's what he calls himself during time of elections. So they are very optimistic and hopeful that he's going to remove EFRIS. And also, the URI technocrats have already explained to him its importance. Like I said earlier, I feel he's caught between a hard place and a rock. How are things going to be? We'll take a break. When we come back, Dr. Rogers is going to be sharing with us his projections into the president's verdict on EFRIS. Don't go away. The day break continues shortly.
Discover delicacy at Cafe Atu, your all-in-one destination. Whether it's the perfect cup of coffee or a satisfying meal, we got you covered. Indulge your cravings with our mouth-watering pilau, savory katogo, crispy chips, and tender chicken. Explore a world of cocktails and fresh juices for a truly special treat. Planning an event? Choose Cafe Atu for top-notch outside catering services. Benefit from ample parking, stay connected with Wi-Fi, and catch your favorite matches on DSTV. Cafe Atu offers food deliveries in and around Kampala. Hosting a conference, our center accommodates up to 1,000 people. Need a boardroom for a party or corporate meeting? We've got just the spot for you. We offer a free venue for birthdays and baby showers, providing complimentary photography. For those aspiring to become professional baristas, our barista school awaits you. Visit us at Albany Center, Level 2 on Ginger Road. Cafe Atu, where every occasion becomes a memorable experience.
Uganda, your #1 leading education newspaper, is back, bigger and better. With articles to fully suit the educational triangle from the government, schools and parents all over the country, aiming at answering the ever left out questions, not forgetting revision questions and answers set by experienced teachers to prepare students for their finals. The Learner newspaper is supplied to over 12,068 schools all over the country with affordable advertising rates. We offer many more services which include uniform and sweater tailoring, all with an aim of easing work for the educationists. Contact us on 0754 777 029 or 0774 621 539. Email us on info@learnernews.com or visit our website at www.learnernews.com. You can also visit our offices at City Center Complex, Room J15, 4th floor, along Loom Street. The Learner, prioritizing education.
ino worship experience n'omusumba Joshua Sempebwa. Haleluya, tugenda kusinza enyimba ezawa nebweru w'eggwanga nga tuzeeyo ekkanisa ku kisa kiri ekyasooka. Kale jangu tusinze Mukama wamu ne Pastor Joshua Sempebwa. Abasajja n'abakazi ba Katonda bangi nga basinza tugenda kubeera nabo. Jangu tusinze ku mulundi guno ng'agitegekedde wali ku Soban Center ku level 2 Jinja Road ku Lwomukaaga ng'ennaku z'omwezi 11 omwezi gwa Kutaano omwaka guno. Emiryango giggulwawo essaawa 6 ez'emisana paka okuyingira nga bulijjo emitwalo 2 VIP bakungu emitwalo 5 ate VIP mafuta mangi emitwalo 10 ate y'emmeeza akakadde kamu kokka. Eno worship experience ne Pastor Joshua Sempe wagirwa.
So much for staying with us. You're still watching the Daybreak. My name is Edirisa Mwonge. President Museveni today is slated to meet all the traders. In fact, I was listening to Thaddeus Musoke, the Kasita chairperson, and he was asking all the traders to shut down their businesses so that they can go and listen to what the president is going to tell them. Oh, will the Kololo airstrip accommodate all of them? We are anxiously waiting for President Museveni's verdict on something which made traders protest for a week. Dr. Rogers, what are your projections into this? President Museveni, I think you should feel some sympathy for him. This is a man who's caught between a hard place and a rock. Traders on one hand are telling him, Mr. President, sir, we can't afford this kind of situation. We can't work when you have this EFRI subjected to us. And the traders, the tax collectors, the people who are working for him, who are collecting for him the money which he uses to rule this country, they are telling him that, sir, we have a big number of businessmen who are evading taxes. Number two, this EFRIS has helped us to be efficient. Look, we are even going to be hitting our targets. We can't fail at hitting our target with the introduction of EFRIS. He needs the money, he needs the votes.
First of all, I would appreciate the fact that, especially me, an advocate of workers' rights, that we have one, at least government has started recognizing that you cannot play away with workers. And so, government has started recognizing our efforts of mobilizing workers. But to workers, I'll tell you that you'll go and get Bioya Bianswa. You'll know. For example, have you ever thought of a discussion? Because I wish if it was a celebration, today is not a celebration. It's supposed to be a conversation. Can you have a conversation of all traders? Yeah? This is just a political gimmick. You cannot have a conversation of about maybe they're estimating to be about 500,000 people or 100,000 people with one man, and you are conversing for 2 hours. So they should know they are going for gimmick, and it's just going to be a political promise for which will last for about few days, and it will collapse like others have been collapsing. Because we have to be genuine. President Museveni cannot, especially with these sanctions you're seeing around, cannot still, this NRM government will not live without the taxes. They need the tax.
But doctor, what would you do if it was you? If you were the president now? Here, the tax collectors are telling you that this effort is very, very efficient for us. And remember, you as the president need the money. And the traders, on the other hand, they are telling you that this is not good for our businesses. We are likely living to quit these businesses. What would you do? Put yourself in the shoes of President Museveni. You need the money, and also you want to please your fellow countrymen and countrywomen.
That's why I'm saying we are unfortunate as a country that it is now President Museveni, who is 80 years, about 80 years old, discussing for the future of us 50 years from now, when he's not going to be existing. So what happens is, it is an unfortunate situation, because for him, his interest, remember, is in 1.5 years, 2026. So any discussion is looking at 2026. You see, you need a sober young man like me to discuss for you things of 20 years or 30 years. Unfortunately, President Museveni doesn't qualify for such a discussion like today. Sober. No, yeah, but what he's going to look at, and I challenge you, is his interest in 2026. Yet such a conversation should be for a person who is looking at the future of the workers and of the country 20 years from now. This is what I would do. I don't want to be one of those people who criticize without solution. All these things I ever talk about, I've meditated about them. We have the solutions. Over the weekend, I was in the village. Do you know, here in Matuga, do you know that a farmer can get 100 liters of milk non-taxed. A liter of milk here in Kampala is about 2,000. So that is 200,000. What was interesting enough for me is that it is not now the milk, the cow dung. Yeah? Because I needed it for my farm, in my flower farm in town here. I bought the cow dung for 100,000. So that kind of farmer got 300,000 a day in Matuga here without paying even 1,000 shillings.
So what are you suggesting?
If such a person is not part of the tax base of Uganda, we are wasting time. To tax a person...
You're inviting government to subject him to taxes.
Yes, I'm saying you increase the tax base. Now, these people you see, all these people he's going to meet, these are peasants. The real rich people are in the farmlands. Areas. These are peasants. A man, because look at their capital, I've ever done the businesses they are doing. None of them can get comfortably 50,000. But of the 50,000 they get, about 15,000 is taxed. So I'm giving you a comparison that someone who got 300,000 a day is not paying 1,000. And now someone who gets 50,000, you are making them pay 15,000. If you don't include the other one in the conversation, you are wasting time with these people. And it is only for peasants, not for intellectuals like me to be taken in such a conversation. You cannot dupe me. Do you get it? So let them play their political game, but for us, we keep advising people of what. So what is supposed to be done is known by researchers like me who have researched on those tax electronic issues, IFRIS. It is not calling all the peasants.
But objectively speaking, Doctor, is IFRIS a bad idea?
I told you very well that IFRIS is one of the tax systems which we live with. And that's why I said some of these even workers are simplistic. I saw one of their interviews, one of them saying, atujirewo EFRIS, no, let him remove it, we don't need it. That is, the EFRIS won't go. But some of us who are logical and are not sort of biased politically, I would tell my workers, I would tell them, no, just bargain for a decrease. And then he will tell you that, no, but we need the taxes. Then you tell him, Mr. President, widen the tax base. Our bosses there in the village, the farmers, the millionaires are not paying anything.
A man possessing 500 heads of cattle and is not paying a single tax. He's getting the milk, but he's paying VAT.
That then the president...
He's paying VAT because these cows, they need, the acaricides. When he's purchasing the acaricides.
No, let me tell you where. Let me show you.
When he's, there are so many things.
No, there would be if you knew, if like actually that's a kind of EFRIS you're talking about, if it is electronic everywhere. But let me tell you why he's not invading and why he won't pay taxes. And the president knows because he's a cattle keeper also. In those farms in Mbarara, Chiruhura, first of all, the 500 liters, he will take them to different dairy stations. This one has picked 50, the other 100. So there is no way even where you will trace that he is supplying to one single person, because that's the only way you would know if he's supplying to a big organization and he's paid back. That's why you will trap them. But in our system, this system, and yet you talked of IFRIS, it can be computerized, by the way. That would mean taking a whole tax base. Like, for example, right now in Chiruhura, where the president comes from, and where the chairman of the ED of URA's Commissioner General comes from, in their real village, they should take somewhere URA a post, and they know those cattle keepers. And they count, they say, Muzei, so you are getting 1,000 liters of milk. You will pay, they can assess. Do you know taxation? That's what it should be. So they should go to Chiruhura, Mbarara, and don't bother some of these vendors. Because most of the traders in Kampala are vendors.
There's someone who hinted on that. And,
yes.
the tax.
They
rather
know them. They know the tax base.
No, I mean these cattle owners didn't augur well with them. They came out and banged tables and they're like, impossible. You can't tax us.
Let me tell you, Mr. Barigayomu, my father, in his banana plantation, I was also shocked. I went, the man in 2 weeks, he cut 100 bunches of matoke.
The bunch goes for 20,000.
For 20,000. So the man has 2 million. Why can't you go in Kashari and you establish a URA there?
Your father is watching you.
No.
You're going to have problems with your father when you go back home.
We know the tax base, and if you gave
You are sending tax collectors to your father's plantation.
So, yeah, let them go to where the real millionaires are, people who are earning. But because these people are in good books with the government, now they are suppressing people in Kampala because they vote for opposition. So this is a political persecution. Don't even waste time. It is political persecution of workers. And in your discussion,
what would the government gain from persecuting? These are businessmen. They have not shown interest in politics.
You know what
they are not competing with the president.
They don't vote. They don't vote. Kampala does not vote NRM. The people who vote this color are those ones where they would have taxed, but because they don't want to antagonize their tax base, and that's why I said we have an unfair tax regime.
Does EFRIS apply to only Kampala businessmen? Which cuts across the country?
That's where the concentration is. I've told you, if URA booths are decentralized, and if they want, they can give me a contract. I'm a consultant and I'm an economist, political economist. I'll go there and show them the people who are supposed to pay that tax, and they will collect it because I know them. These are people who will not even shift their herds of cows. They already there established. And they can be put on the database using EFRIS. So don't bother these Kampala traders. Take the EFRIS, also them. Now this is what I'm saying. Let them not pay. Let them pay. Now EFRIS, the president had promised that it will come over from 15 to about 12, can come from, let's say, 15 to 5%. Do you get it? And if these huge collectors are also put part of the tax base. So in any case, it will just come down. I'm telling my traders, don't expect it like I saw someone excited and political because he's going to put on Visanja and yellow garments. Don't think I'm dressed yellow because of today's function. But that will not, those things are fire shooting. There are things which will solve a problem for some few months, but we should have a conversation as a nation of things which we want to solve economic issues for generations. For me, you cannot put me in a discussion of solving a problem for a day or 2 months. That is time wasting. Let them go and do it in Kololo.
The Museveni, you know, what is he likely to tell these people? What should we expect from his mouth?
And you remember, it's good. When they went for the other meetings, I told you they will start working. Then they start working. Yeah, Museveni, I know, will intimidate them with the history, and will tell them that you guys are even will tell them you are even fortunate that you are here discussing with the president. Other presidents, I mean, never used to have this kind of discussion.
Look at you, you're young. You would be dead if it wasn't the NRM government immunizing you.
Exactly. Since you see this peace and now you want to disrupt it, and so this is his art of negotiation. He first intimidates you and you feel like you are getting nothing totally. Then later he
That's interesting about our president.
He will just throw some small thing and you are like, one
thing that amuses me about our president is that he cannot speak for 10-20 minutes without giving the history about when he was fighting Idi Amin, when he does not speak about his ill about his predecessors. And I'm wondering, why does Soros speak ill of his predecessors? What problems, what did they do to him, especially a man like Obote?
Now he has decreased. He used to say that a lot, but he has decreased because he knows he's trapped in the same issues. He used to say that long ago. These days, Obote is holy and
Museveni
Amin is more
Museveni
holy.
still speaks bad about Amin.
Yeah, no, when he wants
Even
to
when
get away with
it is not needed, you will always drag in Amin's name. When we were fighting Idi Amin,
Yes, when exactly for the fighting, he still says it because it is his source of strength, and we give him credit. But for me, the fighting no longer stands, because if you fight, you fought to liberate who?
And
These
again,
are the
and
people
again also ask this question,
Don't-
Doctor.
don't-
Maybe you can also help me get the answers. Is there one one thing that was so bad during Idi Amin's regime that is no longer happening? Do we have any?
Yes.
Tell me one thing that was happening during Amin's regime that has now ceased to happen again.
I believe the mass murders and accountability issues are better. You cannot say, really, people accuse this government of also carrying out murders, but they are not, if they are there, and I personally don't believe it is this President Museveni, but his people, radical people who have just come in the system, like these speakers you see who have just come and excited the system, they are more radicalized. But if you look at the historical members, including the president, their notion is not to the extreme end of Amin, of trying to forcefully murder. We are here on TV, sometimes we give our views. Here's what he has done. He has become chorus. He has said, let them speak anything, I don't mind. I think that is his indecency, but I cannot say that he is murdering to the rates of Amin, or his regime is murdering to the rates of Amin. No, there is a level of accountability, but the selfishness is what has caught them up.
There is no extrajudicial killings. So someone is, if is suspected to have committed a crime, they are arraigned before court. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and they
Which
use a
was
bit
not,
of poison, which takes long, but so, and it is not, I believe it's not the main actor, but these
Yes.
vigilante people, because they think now doctors talk like they don't know that we are all talking about the future of this country. Yeah? And we are all stakeholders, so whoever is speaking is for the good. So it is not at this rate, but the truth is the president has done what he has done, but he's still accountable. So to me, the faster he gives up and he says, I've played my part, and now it is your future, you Idrissa. Why can't you talk for you? But to see Idrissa talking and then I want to shut them out, I'm just mad. He would be the maddest person, because if he did something for his generation, we are also accountable to do something for our generation. If these people think God helped them to rescue their generation from Idi, Amin, and Obote, God will help us to rescue our generation from Museveni and his cronies.
We have to get out of here, Doctor. Our time is fast spent.
My parting remarks are that workers, we thank you. Go listen. You receive whatever you get, but of course the truth is, I'll promise you, byoya byanswa, until you have your labor parties in charge of the nation, not the military parties. You need to have your labor parties in charge of your affairs. I saw one of the people who are saying that, hey, even us, they should put us in cabinet, and don't even ask for one post in cabinet. Don't ask for those 4 posts in parliament. Let parliament be full of your members. Let the government be moved by members of Labour Party.
Is Labour Party fielding a candidate 2026 presidential?
For us, because we know what is. We don't want to be actors and comedians. We know the playing ground. We are engaging the ruling class to open up and free the space, because we don't want to participate in issues and then we say you cheat. We know what is on ground, and will be based by... Yes, our next move will be determined by what is on the ground.
Thank you so much. Dr. Rogers Barigayomwe, there for you. He's a PhD, he's also chairman, Labour Party. Thank you so much, our dear viewers. We began with me 7:30 when I was here doing the daybreak, and now I've come to the end of this edition of the daybreak. My name is Idrissa Muwonge. Be sure to catch me again tomorrow, inshallah. Same time, same place. May the good Lord continue protecting you, blessing you, Till we meet again, from me and the team, goodbye for now. See you then.